Oh, what's going on? We're back. Excuse me. I just woke up a little bit ago, so forgive me if I sound like groggy, or tired, but that does not mean I'm not ready to get back in the courtroom for trial ladder, day 3. Jesus Christ. Like, we can do it. Let's go. Yes. Alright. I don't think this is the finale. Right? It could be, it's like 3 days investigating and 3 days trial. Or 4 days trial? Investigate, trial, investigate, trial, investigate, trial. You know what? I'm confused. So let's just go. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. No, that's right. Okay, quick recap. Goodman's locker was propped open with the glove between the sensor and the door. So whoever came in just had to open the door. Something was shoved into that first locker. They didn't bring that up, but I kept catching that. But whoever did go in the evidence locker room did have Bruce Goodman's ID. We still haven't brought up that lost report thing. Yeah, okay. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Jake Marshall. Damn. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, pardon? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place, huh? Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? As Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands, no paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Thank you. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Please. Okay, the day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I hate that. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? Ooh. Because he was just going on about the monitors in the previous video. No, sorry, the previous investigation. I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. Well, what if he just doesn't know? No, he did it. He did it. I'm still in believing that. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders, apparently. Everyone's got their weaknesses. Now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright. He's all yours. Let's go. Big press. Let's get it. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who in-eared the recordings. Interred? You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. What a dummy. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Never mind. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy's a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. Quick theory. That line did not go over my head. This isn't even Jake Marshall. I guarantee you this is Joe Dark dressed as Jake Marshall. That's just a theory. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. That ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in the way. No desperados I know join the police force. Oh my gosh. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Angel Star. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism. Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Oh, you know what? I think that's actually true, because Gumshoe did say something about some dudes not even knowing about it. Either that or not knowing how to work it. Okay, okay. How did he mentions it today? You know what? Me and Phoenix are sometimes right there. I see you, Capcom. I'm going with your flow. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongel's Seppi pasta, huh? Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That was worded weird. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" Ooh. So he's either being told to keep his mouth shut. Is Edgeworth under someone's thumb? Would he not want to, like, be on Lana's side? You know what I mean? In any case, he should be me right now. Or he should be Phoenix. I'm just an innocent traveling man. Time to hit the trail. Out of ammo. Officer Marshall. That's right, partner. Or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. What I just pressed him on everything. What are you talking about? Like, I got nothing from pressing him. Hold on. Let me review my evidence. Oh, wait. Where's the overhead view of the thing? Oh, shit. It doesn't label, Oh! We have his fingerprint. God, I'm slow. Marshall's fingerprints. Okay, okay. Gosh, see? It only took me like 5 episodes to get a good grasp on what's going on here. Which one is it, though? Which one do I say, like, yes, you were in the room? You know what I mean? I think it's this one. No, not that one. I don't like losing health, bruh, you know? I guarantee you it's his fingerprint. There we go, okay. But see, the fingerprint doesn't tell us when it became there, huh? The fingerprint doesn't tell us when it got there. So how am I about to press him about when it went down? You know what I mean? Whatever, let's just keep going. Can't get too hung up on things. You just gotta follow what the game's doing. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. That's a dope sprite, not gonna lie. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. You listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Is this man wearing heels? Did you see that?
Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime.
I'm a little stuffy too. Blood-stained fingerprints. Okay, okay.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as a blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How the hell do you know that?
See, I had nothing to do with it.
Where's that coming from? Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. Where's the picture of... Is he talking about her? Is he getting his locations mixed up? Wait, which one are we talking about right now? What? I'm so confused. I'm confused. Hold up. Let's keep going.
The witness's explanation appears valid. Although, there's room for doubt. There's room for doubt? Arthur? Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Agreed. The defense may now begin its cross-examine the witness, yeah.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. What's my trump card again? I completely forgot. Oh, the blood, the fingerprint? I just presented it, though. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. I knew it. What? What? What do you mean? I mean what I said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, what's that hanging out of there? Gosh, can we talk about it?
That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's program. It's Jake Marshall, dude. Like... How else would that locker open? There was no light above it. Unless he's working with somebody, which I don't think it's that, like, dense. Jake Marshall did it. It's for sure. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's program. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Okay, Marshall's fingerprints found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. The print had been wiped. Okay. Why would he want to wipe it away, though? Okay, maybe not. We'll see. Never assume someone is it, without finalized evidence. One of them would just happen to be at the same place. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. What do you mean?
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they are totally different.
I don't see what homonyms, what, have to do with this? I don't see that word too often.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How do you, that's exactly what I said.
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a blood stain at the scene, though to be left by the murderer. That's right. Yeah, but see, the Blue Badger was behind that. Or the Blue Badger was in front of that locker, and that's Detective Gumshoes. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. We did.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's right. That is right. I do remember that now. Okay, gosh, I really need to watch my videos over before I play them again. Or play the game again.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
The seal of blood in the desert. It's just food for the buzzards.
What?
There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
So long as my trial isn't in there, my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me into this crime, isn't that right, partner?
He's like, oh shit, he knows.
If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. How so? We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you could show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so.
Yeah, hell yeah, I can show evidence. This is what I've been talking about ever since the video showed. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Jake Marshall.
Do. Yeah. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
Shit. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Your locker, to be exact.
Boom! That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Maybe a little faster, please.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What is the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Whoops. I can't say order in his voice, it hurts.
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened.
What are you talking about? Even Edgeworth is like...
The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. Wow! Really? Let's keep going. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it.
You are really dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. Yep, this is exactly what I was talking about. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Okay, I remember that. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? What is that? Is that the steak?
I only got 1 word for you, partner.
No! Whoa. What was that?
Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole, please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. I barely look at this. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Where's the camera at? It seems like it's placed where the M in room is. So, like, you can sneak behind it. No? Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. And he did say the person he attacked, or the person that he fought with, was Goodman. I'm confused. Okay, whatever.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Was he hiding?
Well then, let's hear it.
Oh shit. Where was all— oh shit. Oh god. Where was he? I can't save. Shit. Okay, the music stopped. I hope I'm right. You know what I mean? Officer Marshall was standing right here.
So, Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there.
Well, let me save. Just in case I got this wrong, let me save.
That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload.
Okay, I was wrong. Now they're ganging up on me.
Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was.
Officer Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been would be...
Well then, let's hear it.
What does that mean? Like, okay, where, okay, victim, killer, right? So this is Meekins, and this is Goodman.
Bruh.
Wait, killer, victim? Wait. The victim. I'm so confused, because, like, why do they keep saying someone died? And, like, technically there was no body. We haven't seen a body, we haven't... Who's the victim in this case? It's not Meekins, is it?
Take that!
Okay, good. Go, okay, I was right. I got it mixed up. You know what I mean?
There. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. That's what I've been saying for a while. And for some reason, I did not catch that just now. I'm a dummy. Sometimes I just can't put two and two together. It's okay. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. That's right! He's a total stranger, sir! He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Yep. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yeah, if you got nothing to hide, right.
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. It's like, ugh. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Oh, okay. I fully understand now. See, I can think a little bit. Not often, though. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
Got him.
Got him.
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence, huh? Fuckatath. He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Maybe. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I could see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the only one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Where's Mia at? Oh, shit. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Exclamation point? I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been, as in he was potentially set up, As in, like... Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, what exactly is this piece of cloth?
I feel like it's the jacket. No? Like Bruce Goodman's jacket? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Alright, very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape.
Nope, hold on. Okay, wait.
After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open this locker. Okay.
Okay, see, the coat is white, right? Oh, did he say why? Oh, I know. All I gotta do is point out the blood on the shoulder. I think. Ooh! Okay, wait, I might be wrong. Hold on. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know what to... though I don't know to what end yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins is active. Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. He even said so, yep.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad.
Ooh. Wait, is he confessing, or is he like, it's true, it's probably true?
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
Don't, SL9, bro. That's all it is, some SL9, grudge.
2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. It seems the time has come.
This doesn't have to be a testimony, just tell us. Some exposition.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence.
I think that's the contradiction right there. Just like Meekins, I have the ID card. What's the one that I have? Oh, they get out multiple ones, don't they? Don't they? Because Gumshoe said he's lost his like 3 times. So Bruce Goodman might have lost his as well. We found it. Someone stole it. He requested another one, got that one, so now he has 2. Okay, for sure. Okay. So they both could work.
I still planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Thank you.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. That's right. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say Officer Meekins. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Okay. You know, I kind of thought that too.
At first.
Cross-examination.
Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let him die. You're talking about SL9. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. Goodman. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
This is Joe Dark. That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card.
I stole that the morning of the incident.
Ooh. No way! But wait, it's like half finished. So is this actually Bruce Goodman requesting something or not?
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
What? You're telling me this man hauled it from the police station to the prosecutor's office, which takes like a half hour, just placed the ID card there on the ground, drove all the way back to the police station, right? Where did I first meet Officer Marshall? I met him at the prosecutor's office, didn't I? Yeah, okay, that might be true,
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean, the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. Yep, but he could just because of the rubber gloves just happened to be stuck. Not just happened. I think someone set that up. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Right. Who else could prop it open like that? Goodman. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off.
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short a time. Officer Meekins certainly is one in a million type of person. My eye itch.
Making a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his race this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? That clout.
Anyway, he threw himself at me. I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way.
Go.
With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
He's literally been using it this entire time. How is there no blood on it? Can we spray it?
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and?
Managed to escape. I knew which areas would be cut off camera. So you did your research beforehand.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day,
there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
Not unless you're Joe Dark, I'm just saying. So you stole the evidence from the locker?
Actually, no I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Angel Star, bruh? Come on. There was a fourth person, though. Gant? Come on. It's gotta be somebody. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget SL9 incident. You know why?
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. Oh, he was executed, that's right. Did they execute him or someone else? No one has said yet that Joe Dark was executed, but they did say it. Angel Star said that someone was caught and executed, like, for that incident, or for that case. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Hold up! No, 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 no. Stop, 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 stop. Stop. I don't want to be made a fool of just because I didn't look at it yet. I didn't even look at this! Okay, SL9, perpetrator was Joe Dark. The crime was a serial murder and it was closed. The victims... Ooh. Okay. Okay. What is that, his brother? It's personal. No one else has family on this list. Head prosecutor was Mile Edgeworth. The witnesses were the Sky Sisters. No way. Investigation Task Force was Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Head investigators were Bruce Goodman, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. No way! I didn't even look at that yet. Oh man, that's intense. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. I just did. Let's go. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Whoa! No way! He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. There he is right there! They're wearing the same hat! How did I not see that? The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. You look like a stereotypical, like, serial killer, actually. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. Your brother, for some reason, that's your reason for your insane actions. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. But why is everyone saying that there was? You know what I mean? Can we get Damon Gant in here to talk about that, please? The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department, so they're not connected at all, currently. Like, to the public. Chance. It's got to be more than just that.
So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. No, she didn't. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of this simultaneous murder at the police department.
It seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely uncontestable. Incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Objection! No. Oh, come on. Wow, that's actually kind of dope. You slayed that, Edgeworth. I'm not gonna lie. Like I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. There was no... But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. It doesn't really. Like...
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Emma. Yes! Your Honor, wait! Emma. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, innocent. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. Hold up. How old is Phoenix? Deceased. Wow, that's a dope... Wow, that's kind of... Golly, their parents, like, waited 13 years to have another kid? I'm just saying. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh my gosh, sometimes this writing is, like, sick. Yeah, you're a what's the word? Witness in the Joe Dark murders? The case, SL9? Okay. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. Okay. I think you did mention something about that too. That only left one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? That's the one I was confusing it with. Okay.
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured it... But I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there again and looked at it. How did you get in the evidence room? Oh, we got a special card, didn't we? Okay, she might still have it. So did you find something? No. Oh my gosh. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. So why are you here? Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. Why are you here? But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy.
Time's up.
That was not 3 minutes.
Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Which is on Detective Gumshoe's locker, which is right there. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more of use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. Oh my god, okay, what could... Where's Jimmy Neutron? Like, brain blast, I need that shit right now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Yes, I object. Why would you give me these choices? Like, of course I object. Because look, like, I even mentioned this earlier. The blue badger is in the way. Like... You know what I mean? But if it's a right handprint, wouldn't that just be... That could just be, Meekins' blood? Right? But he wasn't wearing gloves. Whose handprint is that? How come we don't have a picture of that? And what's this? Hold on. Yeah, I object. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans.
How do they know that? I literally just looked at the floor plans.
Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Yeah, I'm missing something too. What are you talking about? Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? The blue badger! Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing from the floor plans? What about that piece of plywood?
The blue badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, yeah, whatever. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. Now look at me. The blue badger is not here.
So?
So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Is he really flat? He looks 3D, like, in the video. Well,
what?
Oh, shit. That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What?
So that means, just what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. Yeah, especially a right hand, even though his left hand was the one that was cut. So that must mean that this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. I need some water, hold on.
I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Yep, Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been... It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. Oh my god. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport? Is that a word? Or is that supposed to be propose? Really happened. When did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? What the...
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, yet another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves it.
Very well. Then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
What is it? What is it? I don't... What is it? What is it?
Hold on. I think it happened the same day. His autopsy report says he died that day. What? Right, now then, will the defense...
Now will please present its evidence. What shows when the first crime took place?
His autopsy report? This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see. If it's so simple, then don't get it wrong. Huh? If huh was an Shit. Okay, hold on. I really thought that was it. I was kind of confident. Now then, will the defense present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? What shows when the first crime took place? Why is it not the autopsy? It says when he died. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
You know what? I looked at it. You saw it. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at 4:50.
Let's just see here. 4:50.
If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Ah. Ah. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Which means 7777777, whoever that is. 420, boy? Right. Who is that? I guarantee you that's Gant. Gant did it. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. At the same time, right? That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. It's Gant! Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. Just ask! But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Isn't it? Isn't it?
Sure for him. Yes. I'm gonna play this game for him.
What did you leave off on?
I haven't played this game in a while. Oh shit. Okay. Alright. Who the f is this? What chapter is he on? Anyone know?
Stop actually, like, moving forward.
Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to
Alright, I
you.
need to understand what's going on. Wait, no,
Yep.
you can continue. But, like,
Okay. Dude,
I
you
got-
haven't
use
missed
the
it.
controller.
No, no. Has she though?
Wait, who?
Lana. Lana.
Lana?
Sure.
Oh, I thought
Who the f is this
that would be
dude?
Angel Stars.
Dude, who is this?
That's Jake Marshall. He's got a southern accent.
Does he?
Yeah.
How do you know? No one.
He's from Texas.
Okay.
Alright, you gotta do the voices.
What do you mean?
You gotta do the voices.
The f, bro? No, hell no. This shit's too confusing, bro. We're talking about SL9.
know what's going on.
No, goodbye.
Alright. Oh. Yeah. Oh, shit. When did she approach the stand? There's no transcript button, so I can't look at anything now. Hold up. Let me actually stop recording. I can go back and look. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. There we go. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Shit. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. You fought the law and the law won?
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye, and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Oh my god. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. No! Golly, this courtroom's loud. Chill out. Chill out. Chill out. Lana's remarks caused that the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. Oh, this is the news. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. We have to investigate again. Christ. Oh, I did not have to record for much longer after that. Yes, I would like to save. What the hell, man? I assume this is the last investigation section, and then we have one more trial section. Ish. Maybe. Trial former, trial latter. I'll count that as like one trial. One investigation day and one trial day. So day 4 should be the last day. But, holy smokes. Okay. I literally called it. That was Jake Marshall in disguise. However, I don't think he killed Bruce Goodman. I now think that Chief Gant killed Bruce Goodman. Because Bruce Goodman's dead. Like, that's a fact. He's just... Where he was actually killed is still a mystery. How Angel Star took those pictures is still a big mystery. How touching, though. I did not look at the SL9 case files after I received them. I only looked at them when they were, like, brought up in the trial. Catch me, like, as Phoenix Wright, drastically, like, scouring for the files to look over them just because they're now becoming apparent. I'm excited for this to wrap up and to start Ace Attorney 2. I know it has a name, but I don't know it. But I am doing this to continue the Ace Attorney series. I am also doing Control, and I think by the time this video's up, First Light will be finished, so the Infamous series is now done. If you haven't checked out my previous Infamous playthroughs, please go check those out under the playlists tab on my channel. I do have a few ideas for which series I want to start next. I'm just not sure which one I want to pick quite yet. So I think it's just going to be Ace Attorney and Control from here on out. Or for like a little bit. But then after that a new series will begin and it'll be these 3 games. Or these 3, yeah, games, I guess. So, but that's what's going on my YouTube. Over on my Twitch, I am streaming Death Stranding, my grounded playthrough for The Last of Us, and my 100% playthrough for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, as I plan to do 100% playthrough for each mainstream Assassin's Creed game in the series. So, if you want to see any of that stuff, please consider subscribing here on my channel or following me over at Twitch with the link in the description. If you like the video and you want to see me continue Ace Attorney, please leave a thumbs up. Comment what you think about this trial, or like this case. this episode, what have you. It's crazy, as all of them are. And share it to your social media, share it with your friends, share it with your family, whatever. Like, you know, do whatever you want. I don't care. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.